Forum post November 3rd, 2007, 2:17 a.m. Paralifeforums.com. Poster, Deathgate. Subject, fruitful trips to the end of the earth. Well, if you can believe it, I'm back from the far, far north. I'll get you for this, DD. You said it wasn't very far from Duluth? 3 hours? It was 3 hours. We ended up sleeping in the car and almost died. International Flipping Falls. What a place. All anger aside, once we got thawed and fed, the trip was frustrating, stimulating, and exhilarating in that order. Bad news first, all attempts to research a bipedal hominid along the US-Canada border were fruitless. Even the most rural character we could find, and believe me, there were some rural characters, thought we were crazy for searching for a so-called borderland Bigfoot. I was ready to concede defeat when we met this character that lived on an island on Rainy Lake. At first I thought the guy was pulling one on us, but he was describing something he supposedly saw in the woods, but it sounded like some kind of acid trip nightmare. Huge, he said it was, like from another planet, with tentacles coming out of its mouth, etc., etc. It certainly wasn't a bipedal hominid. The creature was said to live on a small island near the Canadian shore of the lake. No one was allowed to go there. The government claimed it was part of an ongoing border dispute. Sounds mundane, doesn't it? But then I did a little asking around on Saturday before driving back. You know what? There is an island, and the locals won't go there. They say the Ojibwe wouldn't either, claiming the mother of all pain and torture had made it her home. Cool, huh? I'm already planning another trip north.
Forum post, November 5th, 2007, 6:15 p.m. Poster, Spook Girl, regarding fruitful trip to the ends of the earth. Hey, Deathgate, never responded to one of yours before, but that last one caught my eye. I live up on Rainy Lake. Not a local, LOL, but I hang out with a lot of them. There's this island everyone's supposed to stay away from. Locals get antsy even talking about it. I live right on the lake, and I can see the island from my bedroom window. Thing is, I was up late the other night and happened to look out. There was light in the sky above the island, almost like a fire, but more yellow and blue. Very weird. I'd never noticed it before, but I'll be looking for it now. Let me know when's your next expedition. 4 smiley emoticons.
Forum post, November 5, 2007, 9:30 p.m. Poster, Rob, regarding fruitful trip to the ends of the earth. Yo, Deathgate, wish you would have told me about that little trip into the woods. I would have loved that action. I'm a local like that Spook Girl chick, but I don't know who she is. Thing is, I hate to burst your bubble about the island, but there really isn't much to it. It's an old border dispute, so everyone's supposed to stay away until the courts sort it out. And because of that, kids like to hang out there. What your friend saw was probably just a kegger in progress. But if you ever go Bigfoot hunting again up here, count me in. Rob.
Forum post, November 13th, 2007, 1:19 a.m. OMG, Rob, who are you anyway? Keggers? The night I saw the lights, it was 20 below. You think the kids in this town are that desperate? There's always someone's parents out of town or someone's parents who don't care. There are a million easier ways to get blitzed than freezing your butt off. Do you even live here, Rob? This is a very small town, and I know practically everyone.
Forum post, January 2nd, 2008, 11:15 p.m. Regarding Border Island news. Sorry I let this thread stagnate for a month, but oh, what a month. I got lucky. Incredibly lucky. The reason I was originally looking for a borderland Bigfoot is that my grandfather spent a lot of time on Rainy Lake. He was friends with an Ernest Oberholzer. Minnesotans might remember him from history class. Anyway, over Christmas, I got to see my grandma in Florida. I mentioned our postings and the island and Spook Girl's lights and all that, and she said Grandpa knew all about it. He'd investigated the island, even written some papers about it before he died. God bless Grandma, she doesn't throw anything away. She gave me the key to their used store, and when I got back, amazing. A whole box about this island, what the Ojibwe thought, what Oberholzer thought, a dozen stories about people going there and never coming back. Strange noises in the dead of night, and yes, lights. I've got a whole box of this stuff to go through, so I'll keep you posted.
Forum post, January 3rd, 2008, 1:34 a.m. Regards, Border Island News. Can't wait, Deathgate. Good luck.
January 10th, 2008, 12:05 a.m. No subject. Where do I begin? I barely knew my grandpa. He died when I was just 7. I always thought he was just a normal guy. We used to fish on Kaptogama, and he'd listen to the Twins on the radio. But this box of stuff from my grandmother changed everything I knew about him. He was obsessed with the island. Well, not exactly the island. He was obsessed with what was supposed to be on it. There's a legend that sounds a lot like that crazy guy's monster. Quote, a creature from beyond blackness, from past understanding. The Ojibwe believed it was a spirit, and they said it was there long before man ever came to this region. Grandpa kept a journal of his research, and towards the end of it, he just started to ramble. He said he thought maybe the creature was older than anything, that it predated the Ojibwe, even predated the glaciers that rolled across the region and formed other lakes. Maybe it was a glacier that freed it from its prison, he wrote. I don't know why he wrote that, and why would a spirit have a prison? How could it? I saved the best for last, though. Oberholzer gave my grandfather an artifact he found in the lake during one of his canoe trips. It's a little statue about 9 inches tall. We got pretty much every kind of rock in Minnesota, but I've never seen this stuff before. Maybe it's whalebone. Maybe it's something else. Petrified. I'm attaching a link to a picture, and before you look, prepare yourself. And before you ask, no, I don't know what it's supposed to be either.
Forum Post, January 10th, 3:30 a.m. What is that thing? I saw it, and it was like the walls of my room disappeared, and the wind was cutting right through me. I still have goosebumps.
Forum Post, January 12, 7:15 p.m. Oh, what's the deal, Deathgate? What happened to Bigfoot? And what's with that statue? You win it at the county fair? Never seen anything so fake. You know, this is supposed to be a forum about serious paranormal investigation. The Webby's definitely going to hear about you and your monsters. How about we keep it real for a change?
Forum Post, January 12th, 9:15 p.m. This is serious, Rob. Well, more serious than you could possibly know. And if you don't want to contribute, there are a lot of other threads here. I am doing serious work on a subject my grandfather was apparently obsessed with. That, if no other reason, makes it worthwhile. If you have any honor, you will accept that. DG. Private email, January 12th, 9:19 p.m. To Spook Girl, from Deathgate. I'm writing you off thread because it looks like things are getting a little heavy. I need your help. Our posts over the last few weeks make me think you're getting what I'm talking about, and your view of the island makes you invaluable. Could you keep a watch for me, maybe even a log? Don't be afraid. Nothing will happen to you, but if my grandfather's notes are correct, something is going to happen on that island in the next 2 nights. Please write back, even if only to say no. Deathgate.
Reply, January 12th, 10:05 p.m. Of course, Gate. I'll keep a watch and a log. Rob's a jerk. Ignore him. Could you write more about what your grandfather said? I'm fascinated by this. That picture still haunts me. I printed it out and put it on my wall. My dad made me take it down. He's a ranger in the national park here. He always disapproves of my creepy crawly investigations. Lucky me, he doesn't know a computer from a hole in the ground. I don't believe I just said that. You live in small towns your whole life, and this is the result. SP. Reply, January 15th, 2:34 a.m. Deathgate, lights above the island tonight. I have attached a picture. The camera was just my cell phone, but it gives you an idea. I'll do what I can to help, but my dad is being a real jerk. I want to help, though.
Forum Post, January 19, 6:32 p.m. Deathgate, I've been thinking. I was out of line, seriously. I've been by that island a lot recently, and I begin to see your fascination. I did a little research on my own, and I think there's something coming up pretty quick. An old Indian I know says there's always something freaky happening on January 25th. That's the anniversary of this miner disappearing. You can look it up. Hey, do you want to come up that weekend? The ice is solid, and I have a snowmobile that handles 2. If Spook Girl wants to come, we can borrow a friend's, and we can all go out together. I even got a spare bedroom if you want to crash here that night. Let me know. Rob.
Private email, January 21st, 2008, 1:16 a.m. To Deathgate from Spook Girl. Gate, hold on to something. I have some really bad news. I'm sorry I haven't written, but my dad's been cracking down. He's checking me at night, making sure I'm in bed by 11, as if. And he's been asking more and more about my blogging. Most of the questions are about Paralife. I put him off for a while, but he kept at it. I'm rambling. Sorry. This whole thing has me really freaked out. I think he's outside my door right now. I have something very important to tell you. Later. Private email, January 21st, 2008, 3:45 a.m. DG, stuff hit the fan. He found me emailing and took away the power cord from my computer. Like I don't have 3 spares. Anyway, I don't want to write long because the warden may still be up. Don't old people need to sleep? But here's the thing. I borrowed my dad's laptop to check my email last weekend and got surfing around. I'm nosy. Anyway, I found a bookmark for the Paralife blog on my dad's computer, and he was still logged in from his last session. Deathgate, Rob is my father. He's pulling something, but I don't know what. Maybe he thinks you're a pedophile and he's protecting me. He would think that. You'd written before about the event on the 25th? Don't come. Don't come anywhere near here. It's a trap. I know it. He knows all the cops in town, and they'll probably make up some charge and throw you in jail. Maybe it's time we just forgot the whole thing. Spooky.
Private email, January 22nd. Spook Girl. I knew Rob was full of it with his January 25th BS, but I just didn't know why. Thanks to you, I do now. No offense, but I don't think this has as much to do with protecting a daughter as it does his job. You said he was a park ranger, right? Well, my grandfather's notes indicate that rangers have been guarding the island since the 70s when the national park was established. One of the reasons he gave up on researching it was that the rangers were making it tough on anyone found within 50 yards of the shore. Anyway, it sounds like things are a little too hot right now. Why don't we take it easy? Go underground on your dad, play the game, lull him to sleep, and maybe we'll reconnect on an expedition in the spring. I've only got a few papers from my grandpa's box to go through yet, but those will keep me busy for a while. Try and keep sane. Keep your log. Don't let the bastards get you down. I don't want you to get hurt. Deathgate.
Private email, January 22nd. Deathgate, I guess you're right. I like people who try to get it right. Flirty emoticon.
Private email, January 23rd, 2008, 9:52 a.m. Spook Girl. I've been up all night. What I found in the bottom of my grandfather's papers. God help me. God help us all. They had always told me Grandpa had a heart attack fishing on the lake one day, and they couldn't get him to the hospital in time. Sounds nice, doesn't it? He died doing what he loved. But in the bottom of the box, there was a police report. They found his canoe on the island. Grandma filed a missing persons report, but she never told any of us. She decided to tell the heart attack story. She decided to keep us all in the dark about the truth. My grandfather disappeared on the island. He snuck past the rangers to have another look, and he never came back. Can I talk to you? Do you have a cell phone or another line your father can't get to? Could I call you at a friend's house? My head's swimming right now. I need someone to talk to.
Private email, January 23rd. Deathgate, I'll call you. I'm so sorry. But I have an idea that could help both of us. Can you get up here on the 25th? If you can, I think I know a way we can get out onto the island. I have a friend with a snowmobile, and I've driven it before, and I think I know a story we can tell my dad's alter ego, Rob, that will get him out of the way. We can be out to the island, look around, and be gone before Rob ever figures out what's happened. And Deathgate, there's activity out there. I've seen the lights recently. I mean, maybe your dad wasn't lying about the 25th. I'll phone you with all the details. For now, get some sleep.
Forum post, January 24th, 2008, 5:45 p.m. Subject, too late for an expedition? Hey, Rob, is it too late to go check out the Rainy Lake Island on the 25th? Turns out I'm going to be at my uncle's place near Little Fork around there, and I was thinking we could meet and go check it out. There's a restaurant called the Y, not far from his place. I can be there anytime after 7 if you can come get me. I'll definitely take you up on the snowmobile ride and a place to crash. That island should be wicked cool at night.
Forum post, January 24th, 2008, 8:50 p.m. Deathgate. That sounds great. I know the Y very well. I'll see you there at 7:15. And so you recognize me. Look for the guy in the Park Service uniform. That's my day job.
Email, 11 p.m. Spook Girl. He fell for it. I MapQuested your house, and I think I can find it. If you have the snowmobile, we can go to the island together. I know my grandfather went out there for a reason, and it's all I can think about, and I look forward to meeting you face to face. D.
Email, 11:04 p.m. Deathgate, everything's set. My dad's acting weird, more stressed out than normal. He just told my mom he has to work on the 25th. I think that's a good sign. I have to be careful not to give it all away. What do you think we'll find out there? I can't wait. See you on the 25th, 7 o'clock.
Email, 11:07 p.m. 7 o'clock it is then.
Forum post, March 3rd, 2008, 2:09 a.m. It's all my fault. Mine. I want everyone who reads this to know that from the beginning. Should have been more diligent, should have taken away this damned computer, should have kept her safe. But the rest of you have to understand you're playing with fire. Ghosts, Bigfoot, posting little fuzzy videos, exchanging your government cover-up fantasies. It's all a game to you bastards, isn't it? I think it was a game to my daughter, too. You knew her as Spook Girl. Her real name was Jessica. What is it with you people and fake names, fake quests, fake lives? Is that it? You like being online because everything is fake and you can be anything you want? Well, some of these things aren't fake. What happened to Jessica wasn't fake. I buried her today. That is, I buried what we found of her. There wasn't a lot. Coroner wrote in bear attack, and that's that now. Her mother and I are supposed to believe a bear did that. Why don't you invent a story for me, you little punks? Invent something that makes sense. Or how about this? How about you leave the island in Rainy Lake alone and go on with your ghost hunts and your Loch Ness Monster BS? Because if I see anyone sniffing around that island again, I will personally beat the crap out of him. Then maybe arrest him for a terrorist charge so we can hold you in an ice cell somewhere for a year or 3. Thank you, Patriot Act. Are we clear now, kiddies? My daughter died because of you people and the ideas you put into her head. Come near me and mine again, and I'll make you wish that thing on the island had you. Leave me alone. Leave it alone. For God's sake, just leave it alone. Maybe it'll stay where it is. This has been Lair of the Elder God by Jeffrey Adams. Your players included Jeffrey Adams as Rob,
Anna Remus as Jessica,
And Stephen Adams as Deathgate.